All right, my name is Chance Forshoots, and this is my persuasive speech for COM 225, and it's going to be about college tuition and the problems with keeping an online curriculum as going forward and keeping the tuition the same. So, many people go to school for many years. We all go through school, right? It starts off with elementary school, then middle school, high school, then you have your undergraduate program, and if you keep going, you have your graduate program, maybe even a doctoral program, the specialty programs at the end. And for many people that go to college and they work and they go to college, one of the main concerns is tuition. How are they going to pay for the college? How are they going to get the money for the college? And yeah, so as a college student, I have had some experience with the high tuition rates associated with an in-person college and with all the resources and the benefits that should go with that, but keeping it with a purely online curriculum. So I'm going to be discussing some of the problems with keeping the tuition the same and some of the stuff that happens with that, some of the problems that changing the tuition will have, some of the benefits from keeping tuition, some of the changes that keep the tuition. So the problems with keeping the tuition the same with an online college is that many of the students are forced to an online status, and that limits specialty access to the resources that these colleges have that they invest tons of money in, such as the libraries. I don't think I've been in Hayden Hall for 2 years at this point. And there's a lot of disparity between the cost of a dedicated online college and the traditional colleges such as ASU, NAU, U of A with these online curriculums. For example, one of the online colleges I have, I believe it is like Maricopa Online Community College. Their tuition rate is for 1 year is about 8,000 to 9,000 depending on the courses and stuff you take. For ASU, it could be upwards of about twice that, about 1,600 for everything to go to college for a year. Now, I get there are differences, but I'll point some of the changes out later. Now, the online forces many colleges, it also limits the ability for students to specialize and form bonds and friendships. You don't have that student that you sit next to day in and day out that you can talk to and form a friendship with and go over the questions. You don't have really group assignments anymore. It's all online where there's no face-to-face interaction with your fellow college student. Now, there are issues with trying to change the tuition, as there will be people or challenges that come with trying to change it. There are many. Okay, the main problem is COVID and the health concerns that COVID bring. Packing all those people back into a small location brings up a challenge, as viruses, specifically the COVID, has a high infectability rate, and we are not currently close to the immunization rates that are required for herd immunity. So there are concerns and worries of health issues that will arise by bringing everyone back together. And also, another challenge with dropping tuition is there's the maintenance costs associated. Like, for example, ASU Tempe is an incredibly large campus, and keeping the maintenance rates for all these buildings is a very high investment for the college, and they're not going to stay online forever, so they wanted to keep the tuition rate, preferably to maintain these buildings, and there will be problems with raising the tuition, or with lowering the tuition, my bad, as these buildings need that money to keep them maintained. There's also the argument that the tuition rate helps to pay for the high quality of teaching, as the teaching quality should remain the same from an in-person as they are transitioned to the online curriculum, so you will still be receiving the premier teaching experience, or the learning experience from these teachers from, for example, ASU. Now, I know that some of the possible problems. Now, what can be done to alleviate these problems? One possible solution that the colleges can take, that many are, is to allow back for students to return to the campus and make use of these facilities. That's my main issue. I want to be able to go to the college and use these facilities. Without being able to use the library, that limits what a student can do. Another possible solution is to lower the tuition for students, or lower the tuition for purely online students, as they won't be going to these same resources. They won't be going to Hayden Hall and all these different resources, these buildings, these specialty buildings that ASU has, for example. Another possible college route that the college could take is that there already is, we are lucky that ASU already has a motion to move back to college and get the in-person experience. So something that can be done in order to help this is to remain vocal and continue to basically express the desire to go to college in person if that is what you wish. There are a number of resources that you could go to in order to do this. I believe there are a couple petition websites you could, which I've signed. You could personally, I believe, send emails. This is not really the best solution, but it is a possible thing that could be done to get your voice heard, to send these emails and just get the word out. All right. Hope you have a nice night.